Welcome back, everyone. For this session, we're going to continue diving into the fast and exciting, evolving world of DeFi. This session is titled Expanding Horizons of DeFi, and our speaker, Alexandra, is a leading voice in DeFi governance, ecosystem design, and Web3 community growth. And she's widely known in the community as DAO Sasha. Sasha, over to you. The stage is yours.
Hello, everyone. Thanks a lot for hosting us today. Happy to share a little bit more about basically what we are building with 1inch. And yeah, this is the presentation that our co-founder Sergey is usually sharing on his presentations at the conferences. I added a little bit more of history. So let's go. I don't know if you guys know, but basically we are a big fans of hackathons. And the 1inch is who 1inch now is just because guys teaming up at the hackathon in New York back in 2019. And the reason basically why 1inch was created is just because there was a problem. And coming back to basically the history of the swaps, when the crypto entered to the market, and when you really have a crypto and you needed some fiat money, you basically using some P2P exchanges. Then basically we saw another improvement of user experience, which is DEXs, thanks to Uniswap. And then basically there were a couple of other DEXs during that period of time. And our co-founders basically needs to, and not only co-founders, basically everyone needs to check themselves the rates on the market. And then basically at the hackathon they decided, why not just to basically create something that will check all the rates on the market and provide you with the best during the hackathon. That's how we happened, and this is where we now. So we're basically covering 655 billion. Basically, it's actually 660 total volumes, and we now have more than 23 millions of unique wallets, and basically already have more than 170 millions of wallets. But the beautiful things is we have basically 160 contributors all over the globe, the beautiful team who are trying to improve the user experience, solve issues on the market, provide the better quality, best rates, and yeah, keep growing. This is a little bit of history, but let's come back and jump into basically DeFi itself. As I mentioned, we've developed our solution in 2019, and this was the period when DeFi summer happens. And this was the period when basically people start learning what decentralized finance is. And the decentralized finance is basically the things, the finance that are limited, that it's itself. The term itself describing itself, themselves. So again, coming back to my slides, it's when you are in DeFi, you have a global access 24/7 to your finance. You don't need to basically do any credit check verification, same that you are doing in the bank. If you need to just have account set it up, you can just go directly to any wallets that existing on the market and basically create this wallet for yourself. And there is no minimum balance required to basically proceed with any operations on the market. Also, DeFi has some custom qualities. One of these qualities is composability, meaning that basically it combines, you don't need to basically diverse different operations. You can just go and dive into any protocols on the market and do dedicated operations, which is basically swaps, which is exchange one token to another. You at the same time with the same liquidity in the same wallet. Maybe sometimes you just can go and all this basically swaps is optimized, and you can basically do the subscription model and ask the protocol to charge some certain amount of your crypto for dedicated basically transactions, or basically automate and batch the transaction flow for dedicated functionality, as well as you can, if you want to stake and farm some rewards, you can do the staking, which is one of the alternative way as in bank called deposit. And the same thing is basically money market. What means money market is that basically you can borrow some stuff as an exchange of your crypto. This is basically, there was one quality. The another quality is DeFi is trustless, meaning that you don't need to trust anyone else. You don't need to sign the contract, paper one, I believe. You don't need to go to any third parties using any legal authorities. You just go do the transaction signing and execute. So this is there is a good term that you usually use in crypto, which is don't trust, verify. But verify, you can verify in any basically blockchain explorers on the market. So basically also DeFi is non-custodial, or we call it self-custodial, meaning that no basically middleman needed and no deposit required to execute any transactions and operations on the market. But you have to be careful with your private keys. That's 100%. So coming back to some statistics right now, where the DeFi market is. So the traditional finance market right now, you can see on this slide, is over 123 trillions of dollars. And basically daily trading volumes is over 300 billions. The total crypto market, including self-custody and centralized solutions, is over 3.4 trillions and over 100 billions of dollars trading volumes. And basically you see what is the big basically DeFi is now at the very beginning of the growth, I would say, and we can see how bigger the DeFi can be. And yeah, this is just 120 billion of dollars, which is now locked in DeFi. When it comes to basically DeFi fragmentation, we can see that basically liquidity is fragmented across various of DeFi ecosystems, and still Ethereum is leading on that part, and we have other EVM compatible chains and non-EVM compatible chains who is now trying to take the lead, but still it's not like it's still we still have basically the potential to grow. And this is where the potential can come from. Also coming back to the very first OG currency that make the basically DeFi happen is BTC, and yeah, market cap is just 2.5 trillions. And this is basically also not just DeFi, it's also basically the whole centralized exchange market. Is there anything that basically better than centralized exchange? I'm always like, people are asking questions to us when we're traveling across different conferences, and I believe the question is basically intent-based swaps, because there are some limits. The people saying there are some limits in DeFi ecosystem because of their basically entry points. You really need to understand basically how to store your keys. You need to understand how to execute their swap transactions. Sometimes you need someone to guide you on the dedicated steps. And there are some limits also on basically on the DEX liquidity, as you saw previously on the statistics. And intent-based swaps literally can help in combination with the basically atomic swaps. And this is basically what we call intent-based atomic swaps. This is the solution that we developed recently, and this is this solution basically helping to combine all these different chains that I shared in the previous slide, and let the liquidity migrate. What is basically one-inch swap and basically the cross-chain swap itself? So let's start just from the one-inch swap. And the intent-based swap, what is the difference? Coming back to the classic one swaps, how it works. So basically, you as a client go, or you as a customer go to any kind of DEX platforms. You put basically your request that you want to swap one token to another, and then basically the DeFi platform showing you the rate, and if you agree, you just execute the swap. The difference between intent-based swaps is that, and you can do either, basically that classic swap you can either do on the DEX, you can, the rates will be provided just with a certain DEX. Or if you do this swap on 1-inch swap, we are checking over 500 different liquidity sources and provide you with the best rates when you want to swap one token to another. What is the analogy basically on the market right now is not right on the Web2 market, is that when you, for example, want to buy the flight tickets, you most probably go to some flight aggregators like Skyscanner, for example, and you want to fly, I don't know, from Dubai to Bangkok to get some rest. And this tickets aggregator is checking different liquidity, basically tickets sources, and provide you the information that on this dedicated platform, the price for this ticket is better. So the same thing 1inch or other aggregators is doing for the rates for the swaps. And the improvement that I just mentioned is when you do the intent-based swaps, we are not just checking those liquidity sources. We're also checking the centralized exchanges. We're checking other dedicated custom liquidity sources. And in this case, the rates will be even better. And it will happen in the self-custody way. Also, this sometimes in the classic way of doing swaps, users forcing with the sandwich attacks. And the intent-based swap basically we improved this user experience by basically implementing the MEV protection by design. Also, we improved the gasless opportunities, but it is only available on the EVM chains. It's not available on, for example, the chains like Solana, which their architecture is not allowed to do that. And as I mentioned about the liquidity, so basically it's liquidity across the entire market. We have this part called resolvers who are responsible for basically bringing the liquidity all over the different markets. So meaning like covering all that part, I would say that basically the future of trading is 24/7 self-custody trading with a different, and it shouldn't be just focused with crypto. We hopefully will be able to basically implement this big trend of real world tokenization, and all these things will be happening with the new improvement of the swap design, which is intent-based, hopefully atomic swaps. Not your keys, not your money. We're still, as DeFi Dreamers, promoting and asking everyone to join the self-custody army, DeFi Dreamers like us and other DeFi builders. And if you want to try the basically 1inch swap across different chains that I've just mentioned, feel free to do it with this QR code. And I hope I can answer all the questions that might exist today. Now, yeah, I think I'm finished with my short introduction. Daniel, if you can join. I think I was a bit nervous. So maybe it was a bit confused. The presentation wasn't really structured, but honestly, happy to just answer the questions if you help me to guide and clarify something that wasn't clear enough. Happy to do that.
Yeah, no, it's very very insightful, Sasha. Thank you. Yeah, just looking down at the board, see if we have anything here. Okay, we've got one from the blockchain professionals. They ask, for new users intimidated by DeFi, which feature, gasless swaps or self-custody, would you say does the most to drive adoption?
Of course, it's gasless swaps most probably because they don't need to basically take care of any native token and native basically currency on the chain. They just can enter, create the wallet, and do the transaction execution. Self-custody is still important, but yeah, gasless is the more productive feature. But again, coming back to basically the history, DeFi is evolving. So we started as just in the DEP solution for the B2C customers. And now we are heading to the direction of the institution. And we showed this use case of 1inch.io DApp, where we have this insane amount of the volumes. But then we saw basically the interest of the B2B clients. Like if you name me the wallet, like MetaMask, Trust Wallet, Ledger, other like top 100 wallets, they are now using the such solutions as us under the hood to basically execute this transactions swap. So the mass adoption I don't think that we as a DeFi builders responsible for the mass adoption. I believe that mass adoption should happen on the wallet side, and wallet basically has to add those fruitful features like account abstraction or smart wallets, social wallets, and basically having this best rates in addition to the very smooth onboarding can make the mass adoption happen, especially in addition with the gasless as well. So that's what I can say.
That's great. We've got another one. What are the 1inch multi-chain liquidity goals?
If I understood the question correctly, why we basically build this cross chain and what is basically the roadmap? The roadmap for that is basically to build the biggest cross chain liquidity self custody solution. The difference between 1inch cross chain solution and the other like bridges is that we're not relying to any bridges itself. We're this also make the solution secure, and this also make the solution available for any other developers to build on. This open source basically technical improvement that you can use and basically deploy this implementation into other chains. So we're not limited with just EVM implementation. As I mentioned, we're now just released the implementation of Fusion to Solana, and now we're teaming up with the Ethereum global team to surprise you on some other improvements for the L1s. So soon enough, you will see the announcement on that part. So the goal for the 1inch cross-chain and multi-chain liquidity is to invite developers to build the custom implementation of our Fusion into different chain. Thus, the liquidity will migrate all over the market. So it will also allow more people to enter the market, and maybe also invite institutions to start paying attention on the DeFi even more, because maybe in this case, the amount of the volume that we will reach will be more fruitful for them to start, doing the execution, like transaction execution on their part.
Oh, great. Maybe I'll just chip in with one myself before we move on to another one from the chat. So we're talking about you've mentioned gasless.
Yeah.
Shay, could you tell us a little bit more about that one for those that are not familiar? Because
What
when I
is
think
gasless?
when I think of transactions, I'm thinking, someone's got to pay gas somewhere, right? If something's being traded, something's on chain.
So basically, in our case, it's resolvers who basically helping to cover this gas costs. So usually in the classic, when you want to basically send the transaction in Ethereum blockchain, you have to have some Ethereum on your wallet to execute this transaction. And when you want to send, I don't know, USDT to the other wallet, it will basically cost something. And in our case, in the Fusion implementation, so you basically put this order into the basically market, and the order and the resolver will basically put the certain amount of the tokens that you want to send to the contract address that you specified. So not user paying any gas cost, but the resolver is covering this cost for the user. This is how it works.
Got you. Okay. Yeah. Because you can't avoid the gas costs overall. Someone has to pay it, right? Yeah. Okay. Let's go with our next. We've got another one from Dastan. As BD head, how do you envisage collaboration between protocol teams and specialized firms to strengthen on-chain liquidity?
Well, I don't know in which way this question is guiding, but I can say how we are collaborating with professional market makers. In this case, we basically invite them to join us as the resolvers and provide this additional liquidity sources for the best rates to our customers. This is what I can suggest to other DeFi protocols and aggregators to do so. And in any other case scenarios, it depends on the protocol and what protocol is basically focusing on, whether it's a staking, restaking protocol, money market protocol. It depends. It always depends. I cannot say in which basically way we have to work with the market maker. So if you want to, if you are basically a market maker and you want to collaborate with us, you can just reach out at DAO Sasha, and we can find a way to to work with you guys.
Okay.
Yeah,
great.
I just answered. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, you can be a resolver, and you can basically act as a PMM source. Yeah, feel free to just DM me anywhere in Twitter, Telegram, LinkedIn with my nickname, which is you can see it here, like at DAO Sasha.
Okay, great stuff. Okay, nothing else for now, I think. But maybe just another one from me. Do you think that overall the kind of DeFi space and for an end user, the kind of process of going through swaps is becoming easier generally in terms of like UX and wallets? Are we seeing improvements overall?
I would say that intent-based basically, I would say within intent-based architecture, we can see that first, the swaps now is more protected through the MEV attack, like basically from they are protected with the MEV by design, and all major wallets basically adding this protection either natively or using the third-party providers, so there is no sandwich attacks during the swaps. I would say that through the intent base, we can again have the swaps gasless, so users do not take care of the basically native token to execute this transaction. And again, we have more liquidity, so better rates. These 3 points for sure improve the basically user experience for the swaps, but not just not just this part has to be improved. I believe that to have the better user experience on the wallet side is important, and this is what I feel like we will see in a couple of months, knowing that the most of the wallets now restructuring their designs through and implementing the fusion, or not fusion, but the intent-based architecture, we'll see even more improvements. Because still, most of the wallets now troubleshooting the user experience by just adding new features separately, not like all in one. And I hope in the future we'll see the basically intent basis the improvement. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think account abstraction and just kind of because I always feel like people are talking about their keys a lot, right? And they're just afraid of losing their
Yeah,
keys.
account
Um,
abstraction.
yeah, and so I sometimes sort of think though there's not a great way of if you lose your key, you lose your key, right? But yeah.
Yeah, maybe some improvements on the recovery part. There was a lot of basically conversations around account abstraction, and like this 4431 technical and improvements, smart wallets from the Safe team. But recently, the Ethereum Foundation released the new basically upgrade on the ERC20. I don't remember the exact number. I think it's 7701, which basically can really help on the improvements of the user onboarding. But it's not through the just dedicated account abstraction things, because what is the bad thing on account abstraction? Because many teams try to basically develop their own account abstraction tool separately, but blockchain is about composability, and all these different account abstraction tools were not composable. And again, I have my wallet, like I have my, again, Trust wallet or MetaMask wallet, and they have a different flow on how to use this account abstraction. And to make this mass adoption happen, we all have to agree on what is basically this account abstraction is, and then start to implement it. Like when we have kind of Google recovery on all these basically platforms that we have. So we have to just go and recover through the email. So we need to agree on how we recover in the phrase on the, not just on the wallet level, but on the basically layer itself, on the chain level, maybe, or maybe even on the ecosystem level. And in this case, it will work. Otherwise, I will forget which basically tool I used to create the wallet on, and how to recover. This is my thought. So I feel like account abstraction is good thing, but it should be is also improved.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Yeah. Okay, I think just looking at the board, we don't have anything else that's being asked, so I think we can probably wrap up there. Sasha, thanks very much today on behalf of
Oh, thank
blockchain
you, guys.
professionals.
Yeah, if you will be
Um,
traveling around the globe, visiting different events, come to 1inch booth. We have a good merch. Come to talk to our team. Please share the feedback. Subscribe to our socials. We really like to see community active and participate in the hackathons. And I just want to say that, we're talking about the mass adoption and bringing the first billion of users. And I don't know if you are listening these talks right now. I want to ask you today to educate at least one person in your network, and thus we will make the mass adoption happen. So go to cafe, taxi driver, your mom, your sister, your relatives, just show how to basically create the wallet, and then we will already have at least +1. And if everyone today will do this action, we'll have plus maybe 100 or plus 1,000. So slowly we will make this mass adoption happen, and you will see this beautiful DeFi world without any limits, and where you can control your money and your keys. That's what I wanted to finalize.
yeah, that's I think there's some great words to finish, and spread the word for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we can all do our bit, exactly. It's still a very early days in this space.
100%. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
650 millions. I checked the statistics, so it's not just. We still need 450 millions. Oh no, 350 millions to onboard.
That's great. Yeah, Sasha, thanks very much again. Yeah, good
Yeah,
luck
thank you.
with 1inch. And to
Yeah.
everyone watching, please stay tuned. Coming up in 10 minutes for the last talk of the day on blockchain and digital money, continuing the DeFi theme. Thanks, everyone.